Hi guys! So in this video you see me just exploring texture and mark making without overthinking anything. I just decided to work with multiple tools like a palette knife and a brayer, and here you even see me working with an old credit card or whatever it is. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to have fun and not use my paintbrush too much, at least not in the beginning of this. I'm also using gesso and I'm using some zinc white instead of titanium white so that I could sort of create glazes. With that said, zinc white is not my favorite to work with. I usually would pull out like a glazing medium or something if I wanted to create glazes, but I didn't. So it is what it is. Personally, I love both texture and marks because of how they can express personality and emotions. For me, it's kind of what makes a painting become alive, and it's what makes a painting feel personal. But I also think that we tend to overthink a lot, and it makes it really difficult for us to let go. I found that if we struggle with perfectionism or even trust issues in life, they will most likely become a problem in our art as well. I know I struggled big time with perfectionism, but once I was able to let go, my art got stronger and more people could relate to it. Oh my God, I had so much fun with that squeegee and the gesso, and I love how the gesso created that matte glaze. Parts of these layers are really thick, so I pulled out my hot gun many times during this process and I gave it a thorough dry so that I could build up my layers without smearing paint all over everything. I also fell in love with those marks that the sponge brush left, and I kind of regret painting around it like I did here because, I don't know, it kind of ruined the marks, but it is what it is, as always. Things always work out in the end if you're just willing to keep going. So marks are kind of like the fingerprint in our art. It's what makes others see that it's ours. And if you work in fear of failure, marks are going to feel kind of static. But if you let go and relax, your marks become alive. Mark making is really such a powerful tool. And I love how marks can create texture as well. And marks are absolutely my most favorite thing to do. There's not a doubt about it. So what is your favorite? Let me know in the comments if you like mark making or texture. What part of your art is your favorite thing? So here I pulled out my favorite tool of all time. This big palette knife is so awesome to make texture with, and I use it on canvas all the time. Yeah, that's another thing I'm curious about. What is your favorite tool? Drop that in the comments as well. I'd love to hear what you love to use and maybe get inspired. Because sometimes we have a tendency to just like get into this one thing that we do and then we repeat it over and over again. And breaking that cycle is so important because that's when new things happen in your art, right? So here you see me working with the zinc white and the orange to create that light color. And it gives a nice effect. I like it. It's just that I really like working with glazing medium better. Whoops. Oh my gosh, I could have done better editing, I see, with this video. That was just gesso that I put down with my brayer. So I've created a lot of chaos at this point, and I don't know. I haven't really been too worried about it because I'm just exploring and trying to do new things and, just having fun. And for me, this is so important because this is the stuff that helps me create good paintings when I work on canvas. It keeps me loose and it keeps me just enjoying what I do. But there's another thing that I want to show you. I really wanted to show you mark making and layers and stuff, but I also want to show you that when you paint without intention, when you just paint to satisfy yourself so that you feel good inside, beautiful things happen. And you might be sitting there criticizing your painting and saying, this isn't good enough, this isn't beautiful. And I want to show you because I have not been thinking about composition. And I mean, just look at this blue mark that I'm putting down. It's not anything that works particularly well with all the rest of the things that are on this painting. And there's a lot of chaos in it, right? There's not a lot of calm in this painting. So I haven't like tried to unify it in any way. What I want to show you is that even though you create chaos and you don't think when you paint, that does not mean that you won't create something beautiful. All right, so let me remove this tape and I'll show you in a second. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is a great tip. Just heat your tape before you pull it off and you won't risk ripping anything. Okay, so this is the fun part. I pull out a Passe-Partout and I just try different parts of the painting to see if I can find sections that I like. So I just keep turning the paper and trying things and, looking for a visual or a nice composition that I can just keep. And I kind of like this one. So I just keep it there and I just move the Passe-Partout to the side and I cut it. And voila, I have a painting that I like. So you see, you do not have to have a finished painting in order to create something that you can frame. So here you see me with the second one, and I just decided to add some extra things to it so that the composition would look better. So I just edit it and then I try it again to see what it looks like. And there's still something missing. So I just keep going. So now I'm just taking a little second to look at it and see if it needs anything else. And I decide to come back in with a Posca pen. So I'm just making these white marks because I want the painting to feel more balanced. So I put the Passe-Partout back on and right away I could see that I didn't like the top part of the white marks. So I decided to draw a line across instead. And right away, that made this painting just feel more balanced, I guess. And I really like it. So I just decided to make that last line on the top there, and it was finished. So you see, even paintings that you don't put all that much thought into can turn into paintings that you like. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!